Do you want to do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you want to do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Come?
All right, I'll do my own bits myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.
Hey everyone and welcome to another Nerd Glasses pre-show.
Be Dave for the day.
Oh, cool. I get a laptop. Hooray! Because I reset my password after a news event that I will talk about a little bit during the show. And I don't remember what password I set it to.
And my name's totally David Mann.
Dave! Welcome! Do you want to hear the joke instead of other Dave?
Sure.
Sure! So Mario was looking for his lost brother when he came across Boo. He asked the ghost if he'd seen his brother, but got only the giggles in response. Realizing the Boo couldn't speak actual words, Mario grabbed the best tool to communicate with the ghost, a Luigi board. Hey everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I'm Boater.
I'm Steve.
I thought you were Dave!
Well, shit.
Welcome, Steve Dave. Hold on, my microphone has been back there the whole time. You could hear it, but it was just quiet, so. Welcome, Demon Dragon and Akai. How are you doing today?
Oh, shit.
What is that? Does that have audio on it?
Oh,
What's
no.
going on?
I want to be in chat.
Well, and welcome, Dude Icarus. Oh, boy. It's going to be a night, let me tell you. We have a lot of stuff that we're looking at tonight. We've got some news on Amazon's new MMO, New World. We've got Twitch shenanigans, which is why some of this chat stuff is screwy, and I hope to get it set up in between. Fun fact, just asked my fifth roommate about something regarding Boater, and Michael has proclaimed Boater the fifth Beatle. I don't know what to do with this information. I will now shut down emotionally the rest of the night because I was saying things. Oh yeah, we've got Twitch shenanigans galore. We've got oh boy, a bunch of stuff.
Yes,
Let's actually start while we're waiting on other Dave.
Yeah.
I may as well get things kicked off with Twitch bans, plural, this week. One that we've heard a lot of is Amaranth. She was banned for the 5th time this past week. However, this one's notable because she was also banned from Instagram and TikTok. Just basically most of her platforms she was banned on.
What didn't she do?
She supposedly doesn't know. There's been no scuttlebutt as, oh, well, it was obviously when she did this. Who knows when she'll be back, whatever. But also, she's kind of like, I don't need Twitch anymore. This is going to be too much of a pain in the ass. She's joking, okay, what's the meta we're going to do when we come back? But, she has other platforms. Twitch is the easiest, but she did some streaming on YouTube over the weekend. So she said in a tweet, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Who owns the dubious title of Twitch's most banned? Yeah, that could be Amaranth.
It's either Amaranth or Tyler 1.
Could be. Certainly, she's the one that gets more news when it happens. But is this an Oreo episode? Probably.
Hopefully.
It's not the same one. Last week was a very special, very lucky Oreo episode. This one could be an Oreo episode. We'll get there. The other Twitch ban that I want to bring up, just because it's kind of interesting, is that it was a quick ban and unban. Lydia Allergy, who since 2012 has gone by the Twitch handle Squid Game.
Oh.
Yeah.
But she did it first, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you have a bunch of toxic fans trying to message her and trying to get the account taken down because they don't realize that she had it first,
Yeah.
and like mass reporting or whatever. Both her Instagram and Twitch were taken down, and that was fixed by Saturday. Just like a day later, it was sorry, our bad. Here you go. She's got it back. So that was an unban now. So that has been Twitch bans tonight. Definitely Dave. What's coming
Hello.
out in the next 7 days?
Yes. Yes. Stuff is.
If you wish to tag in another Dave, you can do so now.
Back for Blood.
Right.
Dave.
What?
You're.
He's just. Oh my God! What was written on the sheet?
I've. You're writing with the thick markers, Dave. It's very writing with thick markers.
OG Dave, do you want to come on in and grab the headset?
I'm never once going to be somebody that's going to try to bump someone off air.
Let me put it this way. Do you want to save him?
I'm good. Booyah! Back into this laptop.
Hooray! And you can. It's gonna take a minute. So, again,
God.
Dave, I was telling our viewers at home that I reset my Twitch password and forgot what it was, so I can't view chat on my phone.
I guess these are mine now, courtesy of
Oh, sweet.
Real Dave.
So is that game an empty steel case, or is that two different copies of the game?
Dave, is it an empty steel case?
It's a special edition steel case you get by pre-ordering the game.
Nice.
I have a copy of Back for Blood now.
I have the disc. Why does it want me to put in a pin? Oh, jeez.
Anyway, why don't you come on in and we'll go over what's.
Steve. He's trying so hard to cover when
He
sales
is.
are so good.
Yeah, it was busy in the store. Like you may notice that we set this 10-minute countdown
Did
to
you
start.
update the laptop?
I didn't update this one.
Oh no!
Oh, somebody did though.
It wasn't me.
Womp womp.
Skip. Yeah.
I don't know if that computer should be able to handle such things.
No thanks.
Somebody upgraded the old ThinkPad to Windows 11.
All right, we had last week, just before the podcast, I upgraded mine to Windows 11, and I had absolutely no
Did you manage to
sound.
get sound back?
Yes, I did.
It's working now?
I turned off a. It was an enhanced audio thing.
Ugh.
It was like. Yeah.
Wow. And someone then looked at your beast of a gaming laptop, saw that I had a few issues, and was like, yeah, we can put that on the ThinkPad.
Might as well. You never
So,
know.
Microsoft thought, let's keep forcing everyone to update until they fall entirely apart. Like, that's really what that is.
Insane Games TV, the IT edition. Okay. Hello there, right, Dave?
If you ever need to menace the laptop, just hold the baseball over it. It knows who's boss.
Just drop it off.
Yeah, that's been a thing. So hey, So, Back for Blood did come out today. I assume that you swung by there in between jobs to grab your pre-order.
Yes, I am very excited that Back for Blood has finally fully released. It was a game that got delayed. It was actually supposed to be out before the summer, and then got delayed to a prompt Let's Play Spoopy Games time. And I am very excited to be streaming this tomorrow on the weekend Wednesday. I am also proud that it is cross-platform. So if you have it on PC, if you have it on PlayStation, if you have it on Xbox, you can play with people
Nice.
on the other systems.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which compares to like some of the other games that we've seen recently, like Hot Wheels Unleashed, which is not cross-platform, unfortunately. The Nickelodeon All-Stars Smash or Brawl or whatever it's called, I don't think is cross-platform.
If it is, I will be very, very pleasantly surprised.
I mean, that game has been surprising a lot of people with its, like the netcode and stuff like that. But anyway, that was a couple of weeks ago. This is a busted ThinkPad. It can't boot.
I'll trade you while I do repairs on the stink pad.
Okay.
So yes, Back for Blood, one of the games coming out today on all of your major gen systems.
and I am very excited for it. The other game that's coming out that I was very excited for, as much as this is a program for and about nerds, on October 15th, NHL 22 is going to hit people's disc trays.
Nice.
It's going to be on the 4, the 5, the Xbox One, and the Xbox Series S and X. It is going to be the first of the NHL titles to be using the Frostbite engine. Engine
good
overhauls
luck.
always bring out new features and more graphical upgrades for the NHL games, especially they use those to good effect. To keep up with what I will
I've
say.
just never heard a developer be happy that they're using Frostbite.
No, but this particular go around, they were very, very upfront with the fact that they said, "Listen, we're learning from the last time during NHL 15 when we upgraded the engine. We are going to have teams ready and waiting when the game starts to fix the errors that inevitably come up when millions of people are suddenly playing it that weren't."
Yeah.
There is going to be added new animations for when you are doing special moves and particular actions in the hockey games, that of which I am not really aware. And they are also adding the newest team to the NHL. So this will be the game that sets the hallmark. The Seattle Kraken, a newly founded team as of last year, are going to be making their first appearance in this game and heretofore in future titles.
Okay.
So it's an exciting thing. If you're a Seattle sports fan, this is going to be the one that helps you to establish. This is going to be the game where you can claim, oh yeah, this is the first one that had the Seattle hockey team. So I'm looking greatly forward to those games coming out in the next 7 days.
Nice. Sorry, I had a couple more ideas for what I might have reset my password to, and I was wrong. But I did reset my password because shortly after what we'll call press time, Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, there was a huge Twitch leak. Like, enormous. 125 gigabyte torrent dropped on 4chan with verbiage like calling Twitch a disgusting toxic cesspool. Not wrong.
Okay.
And that the person wanted to foster more disruption and competition in the online video streaming space.
Oh, so someone who's pissed from Mixer. That's who it was.
Before
Someone who had a following on Mixer and can't hack it everywhere else. Good job.
Before concluding, quote, "We have completely pwned them." There is other turn of the century hacker lingo in there, which leads me to believe that this is someone who is our age trying to make it seem like it's someone who's 20, because that's how kids who are 20 still talk, right?
As someone who is 22, yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a ton of stuff that was in the leak. I'll go over it really quick. All of Twitch's source code, like how they do what they do from a technological standpoint.
That's kind of the thing you're soft selling here by mentioning it first. Like, they have the framework that is making up the entirety of Twitch, the mobile apps, the website, all of the launchers, all these things, which means that potentially, unless they change the source code for everything, these people technically know which windows don't have locks on them and things like that to get back in the future.
Yeah. Like that's big, and it has like commit history going back a long ways too, so you can see like the changes made over time, probably commented around really well, so you can see why they made different changes, so you can avoid those mistakes. But anyone that actually uses that would be in a world of legal trouble if it could be even remotely proven. So yeah, that's a big one. It also includes information that Twitch is at least considering a rival to Steam, codenamed Vapor. That's something that's been rumored for a while, but there's more confirmation of it in here.
What an incredibly bad idea. But
well, I mean, whether it's under the Twitch name or just as Amazon, when you realize, oh yeah, Amazon owns Twitch and they want to have an online game distribution service, all of a sudden it's a lot less silly. It's a lot more plausible.
They already kind of do. With like, you could buy games from Amazon. Amazon Luna is a thing
Yeah, you can buy it with like digital download, but it's like it's not a marketplace in the same like a separate marketplace in the same way that Steam is. Um, like Steam does so well because it has that focus. And that's not to say that Vapor wouldn't have that focus, but it would probably be a mark against it if they tried to do too much at once, especially out the gate. Um, let's see. And then it's unknown if password data was really released and really got out there, but to be safe, reset your passwords, preferably either to something you can memorize or use a password manager, which I really should be doing. Then you don't have to memorize your passwords, except the password to your password manager.
If you have affiliate or hire on Twitch as well, and you haven't done it yet, please enable two-factor authentication. It's part of the reason that I'm not so afraid of this leak, because no matter how many people have the password, unless they have my phone, they can't get in.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. But if you share passwords, make sure that you also change your password on everything that shared it. Because if they get the passwords, yes, they're hashed, maybe they're salted, I don't know. But it's like if they can crack it, because maybe, a bunch of people have the same password and you're one of those, it must be a common one, and then they'll try it on your email and everything like that. So, password security is a thing. Ask me during the Citadel, and I will be happy to share a Tom Scott video on it. And then the last thing that they had a lot of people talking is that income from August 2019 through October 2021 of everyone on Twitch was released. So my single $100 payout that I've gotten from Twitch, that's on there somewhere. You got to dig really deep down. The top 100 income earners on Twitch was definitely a point of conversation. Um, Starting off with the caveat that these numbers that are on here are, not all of the income that someone makes.
well, yeah,
They're
because
also
it
going to
doesn't.
be making money
It's the
through,
Twitch money, not
yep,
the
not
donations from
Streamlabs, not
outside.
Patreon, not merchandise, whatever. The top earner for just over 2 years in Twitch money was Critical Role, 9.6 million.
Not surprising.
Mhm.
Not even surprising in the least.
Yep. Um, a little more surprising, or unfortunately not surprising, depending on your expectations, is that of the top 100, only 3 of them were women. As in, like, solo streamer, like Critical Role has women on the team, but like solo streamer, the highest one was Pokimane in 39th. Some creators took it in good spirits, like, oh hey, I'm that far down the list, no fair, let's try harder, come on gang, let's move up the list. Others were adding the number to their Twitter profiles. I mentioned Pokimane, she's like number 39, reporting for duty. But others were, upset at Twitch for how they handled it, for not saying, hey, this leak happened, and just telling all creators, this leak happened, here's what you need to know about it, etc. And then, like, people come into someone's chat and are like, you're only ranked 238. It's like, banned. Shut up. Like,
I mean,
some
but
people
what's
are
to
like,
ban them for?
Its thing is that like some creators will be like, haha, I know, but we're gonna work on it, and others are just like, I don't want to hear it. This is a reminder of like a huge security breach on the platform that I make my living on. Just don't go away. It's like, haha, so and so makes more than you. Whatever the unknown is in 11th, that was probably Dr. Disrespect. Even though he was only in for like half of that period. That's not really surprising, says Demon Dragon. Yeah, someone mentioned that and also said, like, see how far down the list it takes to see a black creator. Like, not great for minorities. Thanks, Twitch. So,
Although at that point, it's just a base list of the payouts from Twitch. It's not a list of top advertised, top supported, top this and that and the other. It is gross pay from Twitch themselves.
And it's also like if you do the math, you can roughly arrive at those numbers by looking at someone's sub count. You can see how many subscribers Critical Role has.
Yeah.
Multiply it by the $2.50 per month of subscription that they get per person, and get roughly close to that.
Yeah, it's one of those things of like, yep, it's just random data that got handed out to people,
Yeah.
and hopefully that data is then protected better next time, and also like those factoids of, hey, in the top, what was it, 100?
To the top 100.
It was 3
Yeah.
content creators of color, things like that, like definitely, especially for a broadcast service that talks all about inclusion and this and that and the other.
Well,
It's like,
they've been
okay,
doing a lot of talking, but not a lot of walking.
Mm.
I mean, they say they're going to walk the walk, but, that's still talk.
and this is data from the last fiscal year.
The financial data is from August 2019, so the last 2 years.
To today.
To when the leak was earlier in October.
Okay. So yeah, right when Twitch started touting inclusion and all these things. How dare!
Twitch did confirm that it was, quote, a malicious third party, so at least it wasn't someone internal that was disgruntled. But you're right, it could be someone from Mixer that was like, "Meh."
Who were the people that were? We had almost something exactly like this earlier with what was it? Apex got hacked, and people were pointing people towards a different game.
Oh my God!
Do you remember that?
It was, yeah,
And they were using like the literally
people pointing
the
to
exact.
Titanfall, but then Titanfall had a whole lot of drama. That was one that I brought up. That was tinfoil hat worthy. I should have gotten tinfoil out for that whole conversation because, oh my God! Make sure that you look at the reruns of Nerd Glasses up on YouTube. I'm sure it's up in one of those. I forget what date that
But like
was.
literally this exact thing happened where someone released a whole bunch of data from EA, a whole bunch of like stuff, and then was like, haha, leet, pwn, ba 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 ba.
Yeah.
Like I'm internet to smarts. It makes you wonder, is this at all related to the folks that they were cracking down on for the hatebot raids?
Yeah, I don't know.
Could this potentially be a
Is it Haas?
It, could
Did
it be-
Haas rear his
could it
head?
Be Haas? Could it be the Haas themselves, their sweaty manliness, coming off the internet and going?
So yeah, that's that. Again, reminder: change your passwords and keep pestering Twitch for inclusion. And other than that, we'll see where this goes.
And even if you don't have an affiliate channel, always have two-factor authentication.
Oh, if you're a streamer, reset your stream key. I don't know if we've done that. We should. Just in case. Anything that shows up on your screen as consecutive circles, replace it.
All right.
Don't draw on the screen. Not Dave. Almost absolutely Dave. Whatever your Dave name is. What's my Dave name?
You know what? I'm just gonna go back to selling stuff.
No, you can't do that because as long as we're on the topic of Twitch and Amazon, isn't there something else about Amazon and gaming?
So, you know how Amazon got into it,
How
and
often do we segue to each other's topics?
and they made a whole new world, which actually OC5X streams here on Insane Games TV, and you should check it out. But I titled it "New World, Same Old MMORPG Problem." Did you know, Boater, in New World, they have guilds and companies which are made up of players that gather together and do events together and store gear in one place and put all of their monies in coffers and this and there, and they are supported by community leaders. Well, stop me if you've heard this before, but eventually some of the community leaders and some of the mid-sized ones thought there's too many people and took all of the money from one of the guilds, sent it to a side character of theirs, and then ghosted the guild with that main character. Name.
I mentioned reading Empires of Eve earlier this year. Yes, absolutely.
So that's happened in WoW, first to be sure.
Yep.
EVE Online. It's definitely happened in all of the
It's almost like a mark of maturity for the game that there's that kind of shenaniganery, that kind of smoke, that cloak and dagger. That's the word I'm thinking of. The
So,
phrase.
of course, as with any of these games, the player base was immediately infuriated that they trusted one snake oil salesman, and the snake oil salesman does what snake oil salesmen do. They go out for a carton of cigarettes, they go out for a gallon of milk, and you never see them again.
Is this about your dad again? No.
No. Yes.
Yeah. So, has there been any response from devs? Like, what's the community done with? Well, this happened.
No, because
Okay.
Amazon's literally doing the same thing that, like, everybody else did with the games. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you know that you're trusting one person to be in control of all this stuff. You didn't really put any system of checks and balances, and it seems like this person was able to quickly and easily cut ties and go away.
A very hands-off kind of thing. This is how the community is interacting with each other. This is what humans do. I'm sorry, you need to be ready for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Very cool.
Sorry,
Very cool.
as it turns out, you invested all your money with Bernie Madoff, and as it turns out, they were a liar. Like, um, I, I'll keep track to see if Amazon does anything with this. Perhaps, if someone has Amazon Prime, they may be able to get a return on their investment with the guild because of their 30-day in-house policy. that
Amazon Prime
does
is
so
the
have.
FDIC of
Um,
New World.
Exactly. Like,
Oh, I already got mine. Never mind.
I'm curious to see if that's what they do with these things. But yeah, when I read that story that people were starting to get mad at New World and they were going to Amazon, and like Amazon did exactly what they should have done.
Mhm.
Well, what did they do? What did Blizzard do when this happened in WoW? What did the developers of EVE Online do?
Yeah,
What did they
there's
do?
a roadmap in front of them for exactly what to do, and not just in the moment, but how it's considered years on. So it's a good, like, long game kind of thing too, because it's proven that in general, although it sucks to be the people that lost the money, it gives more faith in the game if developers are hands off. Because when
One
developers go hands on, again, in Empires of Eve, it talks about if there's even a whiff of the developers getting more hands on, massive community shitstorm.
um, Demon Dragon in chat. If you didn't want your shit stolen, you shouldn't have invested in the guild. Exactly. I will
You
say,
keep your cash under your mattress.
like, you have your own chests and stuff. But one thing I will say that was able to be done, and I don't know if New World has this. I'll have to message OC. But like, my friends played the Conan MMORPG, and they had a clan, as they are called in that game.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And so they had an overleader, and they had 4 tiered leaders that were able to access each other's things. And they had access to things that other people didn't, and the top one could override some of it, but then couldn't shut everybody else out of it.
Okay.
So it was one of those things of like, well, if you didn't format your guild in such a way, you've kind of, placed all of your eggs in one basket, and as it turns out, the basket wasn't interested in being your basket anymore.
Yeah.
Like, hilarious. It feels bad, man, for the people, but at the same point, you get what you get when you get what you get.
Sorry, I just had another idea of what I might have reset my password to. Nope.
The basket had a hole and dumped it into the guy's pocket. Exactly. There was a confirmation that one of the guild leaders in a mid-sized guild also transferred all the money to a different character, formed a new guild, and then killed his former guild. And
Yep.
destroyed it.
Yep.
All classic tactics that if you type in
Yeah.
Guildmaster betrays former guild, it's literally a who's who of that happening literally everywhere
Yeah.
and forever.
Yeah. I know I've said it. This is the magical third time of me saying it, but Empires of Eve Volume 1 and 2 is written like a textbook. It is a historical account of stuff in Eve Online and goes over stuff like that because it's very player focused and stuff. If you have never played an MMO, and even if you haven't played Eve and you don't think you'd want to play it, I suggest reading it because it is written so well about this. Yes, you can find news articles about these things, and that's great, but like getting invested in the storylines of these, and then this happens is like so well done. So
Steve put in chat, in the end, it's only a game if you put in the time, enjoy it yourself, and not give it away.
yeah.
That's the problem with guilds. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we're all serious gamers that have put a lot of money into higher end equipment and
Mhm.
high end.
And
Like,
sometimes, depending on the game, there's stuff that you need to pool money for the guild, so that there's communal guild property. But you just got to be able to vet people. Um, okay, Dave. Do you want to hear something about Activision Blizzard that's going to give me a headache, or do you want a double header about military hardware?
um, you know, I think we've talked a lot about a big corporation kind of giving people the shaft. So talk about the military, because that never happened.
Okay. I'll start it the same way that you started yours. Tell me if you've heard this before. A player in War Thunder, a tankery battle game, in an argument over accuracy on the game's forums,
Oh,
posted classified documents to support their claim,
But-
and was immediately shut down by the developers.
but
If that sounds familiar, it's because I said those exact same words. I think I should have checked the VOD up on YouTube. Yeah, because back in July, this happened with someone in the UK.
with World of Tanks.
Yep. No, it was War Thunder. It was War Thunder. But yeah, it's same thing, except this time across the channel over in Le France. Someone posting stuff for a tank that debuted in 1992 and is still in use by the French military, and posting classified documents, and the developers are like, "Stop it!"
Funnily enough, we were sitting in the same positions too.
We were. Yeah, it's like we don't know yet
God.
if there's any real-world consequences for whoever the forum poster is. The moderators immediately deleted it, and we're like, "Guys, this isn't a joke. You cannot post this. We cannot read this. Don't do this."
This is specifically, there are so many papers you sign to be in the military.
Mhm.
So many contracts you are signing away.
Could you imagine being a potential military opponent and just scouring the War Thunder forums to get valuable military intel?
It's probably what they do anyway.
It's well, this is how it goes back to the old expression that was used in a lot of propaganda: loose lips sink ships.
Mm-hmm.
Because nothing gives away your tactical abilities like posting exactly what you have on the internet, or telling people, hey, you know, this new tank, blah, 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 and we use these parts, and this is the factory we make it in. And
Yeah.
like,
Meanwhile, like,
Stop it.
so that's land. It reminds me of Doctor Strangelove. Do you know the story about where just based on like one or two pictures of, what was it, B-52? No, it wasn't a B-52. It was a different bomber. But based on pictures of that, they created from the ground up the cockpit for this plane as best they thought it would look like. And the U.S. Department of Defense comes a knocking because it looked really, really close, and they were like, "Who leaked it?" They were like, "No, we just guessed."
when you cheat on your homework and realize that you were so close to the real answers that they had to call you on it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not even. They weren't cheating on their homework. They did completely original work, which just happened to be word for word in a plagiarism checker. Anyway, so that's land, that's air, and then the other story is at sea, sort of. The Facebook page of the U.S. naval, I want to say, destroyer, the USS Kidd, was hacked. Not the ship itself, just the Facebook page of it, because major vessels have their own Facebook page. You know, like Curiosity Rover has its own Facebook page. Well, so does
It's
the
it's
ship.
to humanize the boat, to remind it that it plays, you know, Farmville just like me, and like
and isn't engaging in war with a bloated defense budget that could definitely be used for other reasons.
No,
Anyway,
Boater, it isn't Facebook. What could possibly go? It's just like you and I. It has friends. It blocked Brenda because Brenda's an asshole.
it gets hacked. Facebook page was hacked. The type was changed to gaming video creator, and whoever hacked it decided to stream the original Age of Empires a total of 5 times. Poorly, I might add. Some of the quotes and comments were, "Somebody teach this guy how to play," and "You gotta get out of the Stone Age, my man."
See,
They played for hours, and they're just like,
I-
"You chopped down some wood."
I'd say it, but Age of Empires, you're kind of asking for a certain class of folk that haven't necessarily played other games, but just play those, which is fine if that's your thing. But they're gonna come out and they're gonna say things.
Well, it was also like, it wasn't like, "Oh, you're." It's just like, okay, cute that you hacked it, but if you're gonna do this, do it well. Play the game well. Come on, man, you're disappointing all of us.
That's so funny. So, oh my god.
Actually, I'm sorry. I did have one more thing
Oh.
to add on the War Thunder one.
Well, then take
That
back the
says
pass
kind
motion.
of a possible reason that this might be happening a bit now. Benjinator, who is a Kotaku commenter, said the game is sold on historical accuracy, trademark, and the devs encourage people to find documents on the specifications of historical vehicles to make changes to the performance in game. Unfortunately, since it came out, the game is also now starting to focus on modern day weaponry. So of course people will try to do the same thing for that content. It's in the past it did historical stuff. So yes, I'll find whatever operating manuals I can. Here you go. And now people that don't quite get the wires uncrossed. Anyway, now I'm done with that one. That's on to you, sir.
I'm sorry to butt in if I just may add. Amaranth isn't banned right now.
Okay.
She's live right now as a recommended channel in the store account.
Oops, Amaranth is unbanned, and apparently did decide to come back to Twitch. So when you're like, I don't know if I'll be back. No, she's back. Of course she is.
All right, Dave, back to you.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Thank you for the update on one of the 2 Twitch bans today.
Up to the minute news for you, the fair watchers. Speaking of streamers coming back to going offline, coming back, and New World, a game we've been hammering in. Friend of Insane Games TV, Shroud, was playing New World, was having a great stream, hitting the stride, and all of a sudden was offline.
Okay.
People thought strange, but we'll wait. A lot of times if a streamer goes offline, just kind of hang out at the channel, wait a couple minutes, press the refresh button. They're usually back online.
So the
or at
stream
least
went offline, not he was kicked off the game servers, his stream went offline?
Stream entirely.
Okay.
Channel went down.
Okay.
Came back on and said that apparently the power supply had exploded in his computer and was able to jerry-rig something else together, probably had a backup,
Was it one of those gigabyte ones we talked about earlier this year?
It really may have, knowing Shroud and the fact that he is one of the high-end featured performers on a lot of platforms and this and that and the other going on. They did cite that they had been having power issues in their where they lived in the town and in the area
Okay.
things. Because the stream then promptly a little bit later went back down because New World is a really big game and causes a lot of issues. And
Yep.
I'm guessing the replacement power supply couldn't hang on and hang in there. But it makes me feel a little bit better to know, just like that boat had a Facebook page, big time streamers are just like us, and they have technical issues that cause them hampering problems and
Yeah.
have to reschedule streams and this and that and the other. It's one of those things of like, it's good that it was an issue that could be easily fixed and that they were able to communicate with their community, and it shows, hey, a larger streamer who has a lot of following and a lot of dollars on the line for these hours, this is what they kind of did. Kind of remember that in your own future, in your own like make a note of that.
Yeah.
If it goes down, make sure you spread on your socials. Hey, we're aware it's down. We're trying to resolve it.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, when the service goes down, I just immediately go to Down Detector. And so I know, like at my last job, we would listen to we would have a commercial Pandora account for the store. And so, oh, it's not working. Pandora is down on Down Detector, whatever. But at the same time, if it lasts for longer than a minute or two, yeah, go to Twitter, go to Facebook, go to whatever and say, we're having server issues. We expect it to be up in minutes, in an hour, tonight.
Unless you're Facebook and it's gone completely.
Facebook went to Twitter to keep people updated on that. Womp womp.
Oh God. What's going on, King X Vex? By the way, welcome to the stream. Feel free to weigh in on the topics we discuss. Speaking
Demon Dragon says, "Good thing that the power supply didn't destroy his whole computer. If it was
exactly,
one of those gigabyte
again,
ones, it could have toasted a lot."
like we joke on here about wishing ill on other people and things like that, but like, eh, do your own thing, make your own way,
Mhm.
and like stuff
Best
like
of luck
that.
as you do things, and don't let and hopefully stuff doesn't blow up either figuratively or literally.
Unfortunately, Boater, something has blown up and has been officially been put to bed.
Stadia.
Come on back. Oh no! Everyone, check your temp. Check your. Yep,
Hold on, same side.
Stadia is still alive.
Okay, cool.
It made it for another week on the Nerd Glasses. Rockstar has officially killed a game originally teased in 2007 and announced in 2008 called Agent.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that game, Steve. Do you remember that game at all? It was a game that has a storied legacy that I will go through right now. 2007, during the Game Awards, it gets announced, it gets teased. 2008, it gets announced for the PlayStation 3 and continues to be mired in just developmental hell till 2010 when PlayStation finally said, it ain't coming to us.
Mm-hmm.
It was then resurfaced into around the 2000 between that era, and it was that Rockstar San Diego was working on it. Rockstar San Diego was also then put on a majority of the Grand Theft Auto projects.
Yep.
So it got shipped off to Rockstar North, where it was then promptly said, hey, we're shelving this, but people continue to give development updates. Hey, we're having a great time with these assets, the game mechanics, people are really liking it. Rockstar continued to say, this is one of our games that we're going to make.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
love this IP.
It's still on the slate. It's still going. Yep.
Goes quiet. Until 2016, where Take-Two Interactive re-entered the trademark for it, and they said, hey, we loved what we saw with Agent. We're going to take over. We're going to take the helm of it. We're going to continue to work on it.
Okay.
Until 2018, when they let the license lapse.
Okay.
Where it sat on Rockstar's page, by the way, as a game in currently development, a project. Rockstar continued to stand by it until this month, where it was taken off of the page.
Was it officially proclaimed?
Rockstar did confirm to the various news outlets that as much as they love that game and they would love to revisit it at some point,
At this point, they need that development talent to make another re-release of Grand Theft Auto 5.
and a lot of the assets from that game were put into Grand Theft Auto 5.
Of course they were.
So the game Agent lives on in some of the mechanics and some of the development, helping Rockstar to make Grand Theft Auto 5, the game
Wait,
that
isn't that
you
part of
will
the plot
play
of
for the
Free
next
Guy?
10 years. But it unfortunately has said that whereas Rockstar is very high on that IP and they very much want to make it, they just can't keep holding a candlelit vigil for it to wait for it to come to fruition.
Gross. Gross. Let's see here. Let's not end on this one. I have two small ones that I'm gonna save for tabled topics in the Discord.
Okay.
But I'm going to try my best to summarize the latest in Activision Blizzard. Here we go. The California Department of Fair Employment and Housing attempted to put a stay on the settlement between the Federal Equal Opportunity Employment Commission and Activision Blizzard. They claimed that some of the results of the settlement could interfere with their ongoing lawsuit. Normally they would have to wait 7 days, but they were like, because of some of the stuff that might happen and fear that evidence could be tampered with, put a stop to this now. The judge said, no, we're not, you can't do that immediately. You have to wait the normal 7 days or whatever. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission counters that two lawyers involved in the California Department suit used to work at the Equal Employment Commission during their 3-year investigation into Activision Blizzard, and that there was a conflict of interest. And that their investigation is being tainted by that and the conflict of interest, whatever. So state and federal things that have more or less the same job are now fighting each other, and Activision Blizzard is just laughing, throwing popcorn at them. There is a lot more to that, but I was going cross-eyed and getting a migraine. I'm doing no more detail. Right now, we have two agencies fighting each other over how much to punish Activision Blizzard. One says, this is fine, and the other one, like, no, they need to pay. Because California legal stuff can get a lot more into it than federal can. Like, even you look at with pollution type stuff, particulate matter, EPA. California's board, CAFE, can be a lot more strict than the EPA. So a lot of stuff is made to California standards, even if the EPA has looser. And so, like, we're looking at that now on an equal opportunity side. So
This is the one of many drawbacks when you have the government get involved with occasions like this and attempt to enact. It is a big machine and it chugs along as fast as it can, but when one cog starts using other cogs oil, they start getting mad about it, and
yeah, Demon Dragon says, "Why not stack the punishment, make both sides happy?" And the thing is that they're not necessarily like opposed to. Yes, by all means, do your lawsuit, and there'll be more punishment, whatever. But it's some of the results of this settlement. Yeah, could be like a cog spinning the wrong way to mesh with what's happening with this ongoing lawsuit.
Yeah, whole. We can go into legal stuff at another stream and as this develops, but just know that because they banged the gavel on one case, it then can be used against the government's case against Activision Blizzard.
They can set a precedent
because the precedents.
And if it goes to jury, then it's like, wow, they paid $17 million already on this one thing. We can go light on the punishment here without the frame of reference of however many billion Activision makes in a year. So,
but let's not lose sight about the fact that you can make them pay money, but really, I was really excited about those developments in forcing them to regulate employees, in protecting employees' rights and things like that. That I really hope do stick. Billion-dollar corporations can pay out billions of dollars. That's no amount of money is going to hurt them. They'll make it back.
There is an amount, but I don't think that we'd see that amount in court.
No.
But if California can put even more strictures on them, I'd be all for it. Anyway, that's that. Dave, do you have any more before we go to this?
I did want to talk about Nojima Denki, a game store of note, a fellow small business in the video game industry, just like Insane Games. But they have taken the stance that PS5 scalpers can suck it. Because if you buy a PlayStation 5 through them, they're going to write your name on the box with a felt tip pen and an ink pen, so that if you wash off the ink, your name's still emblazoned into the box. They are also going to remove all of the sealed inserts. For example, the wrapping that's on the controller that you could potentially then take it out of the labeled box and sell it that way.
Wow.
They are ensuring that if people are going to scalp the PlayStation 5s that they are selling to people, they are going to do it without the box and therefore not as a new console as easily.
Used. And the thing is that people who, like, maybe when it comes closer to holiday season, that's going to be more like, I want to give it as a gift in box. Okay, but
dumb.
But like right now, I would be happy just to get a PS5. I don't care if everything's like, throw it in a grocery bag. Throw a little bit of like padding in there before you toss it all in. But throw it in my oversized Price Chopper canvas bag, and let's go for it. That's fine. I don't care. I'm happy to get the next gen console.
Don't settle. They're coming.
Or wait till next year. I'm probably going to get a Series X next year, but I'm not this holiday season. We'll see.
Apparently, the biggest thing is that overseas, especially in Japan, where people are furious that other people aren't getting PlayStation 5s as they are wont to do, scalpers may be more inclined to receive Twitter messages. Hey, I see you're scalping, you piece of
Good
messages. Also, there's that whole thing of like, apparently some people are calling people's employers and saying, hey, your employees kind of doing this on the side and kind of screwing people. Now, as much as in America we're very much free market and things like that, in Japan,
There's a lot more like social responsibility in the culture.
if you represent the company and you do things that cause the company to go, you're fired, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
So, good luck and much
In
love.
exactly those words in that tone of voice.
Much
Imagine
love.
someone getting fired from like Nintendo for that. And with those words. You're fired, bro.
Pack your shit. You gone. Hang on, we got one of the MLB reps to come in. You're out of here. So is Insane Games going to do that? I would like to. We won't though, because there's no need.
Okay. I do have a couple topics that I didn't get to. If you are interested in seeing these, I'm going to post them tomorrow in the Insane Games Discord. We have a channel called Tabled Topics in the Nerd Glasses area. I'm tabling not so much a topic with discussion, but a headline about Epic admitting that their Imposter's Game mode was inspired by Among Us, and more stuff about the Intellivision Amico and why I'm finally done with it and not interested in it anymore. Dave, why am I getting the foil?
Because we are about to enter a zone that we do not want folks to confuse as real news.
Before you put that on, I need to tell a story that happened earlier today.
Okay.
We are about to enter the fiction zone. We are going to have fake news topics that we are talking about. And we were all kind of tossing them around and writing them on pieces of paper. And before air, Steve went over to Dave's notepad where he has the actual topics and wrote something down. And Dave looked at it and said, "That's a fake topic. That doesn't belong here." But it was a real topic. Do you want to mention it before we go into the fiction zone or when we come back out? Because I feel like we should mention it now before we go into the fiction zone, and then we can do our outro afterward.
Sure. Yes. For those of you who do not know, Steve Harwell, the lead singer of the ever so memeable band Smash Mouth, after 27 years, is retiring from the band. In an official press release to the New York Post, they did say they will be searching for a new singer. But
now, Steve wrote it down as Smash Mouth is breaking up, which is only about half true.
Smash Mouth officially broke up, which is fair. It won't. It won't.
Yeah. Now, but can it still be good? Can they still do great stuff? Sure, the possibility is there. We've seen other bands do a good job of getting new lead singers. If you are legitimately a fan of Smash Mouth right now and not just in it for the All-Star memes, then you're probably pretty receptive to a new singer. If you're just in it for the All-Star memes, you're probably like, I thought they broke up like 20 years ago.
Now, later in the program, I will have my audition for the lead singer. So definitely stick around for that.
But in the meantime, I think it's Fiction Zone time. Sure, good enough. So, now that we have the tinfoil hats on, you know that we are in the Fiction Zone. No further topics that we talk about are actual topics. I don't want you to take these and start trying to give them as tips to Polygon or whatever. We are in the Fiction Zone.
But if they turn out to be true, we said it here first, so
these are headlines that we have come up with that have been submitted onto our community Discord. We basically, I'm going to read the headline and talk about it, improv as though it were an actual news item. The first one I got is that Tommy Tallarico expresses frustration that no one is buying $10 games. This is an actual news topic. This actually happened. This is an actual thing within television.
Put that aside then, and shame on you, Vladdy.
No one is buying $10 games. Instead, people are buying games for more money, and they're releasing games with NFTs. That's an actual news topic.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, like
Apologies, Vladdy.
he put it in a slightly facetious way over here, but those numbers and everything like that's actual news. Okay, so let's move
So-
down the line.
So we won't read the facetious phrasing on that one.
It's
Um,
the story itself is stupid enough.
You know, speaking of throwing it out, EA has decided too many controversies, too many problems. They have released every single one of their studios. They are, as of tomorrow morning, going to be shopping out for every small studio they can possibly loose from your Activisions, your Blizzards, your Rockstars, all these other things, and they're going to shake loose the gaming industry. They're going to be whipping out their checkbook and buying game studios from Microsoft, from Sony, from any studio that they can to get to work on those Star Wars IPs and all of the sporting games they have. More luck to you, EA, and best of luck to everyone that was fired. Good luck finding a new job.
I have no response on that to even carry that along. That sounds almost plausible.
All right. You'll know him, you'll love him. Famous company, Panasonic. This CDI. That's Philips.
Oh, then it says Philips then.
All right.
Panasonic
Philips.
did some of it too.
A little bit. Philips, you know him, you love him for the CDI. All the great games, Hotel Mario,
Oh,
Mario's Wacky World.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Came out. Zelda's Adventure. Wanda Gamelon. Faces
Possibly
of
the
Evil.
best
Steve,
version of Tetris.
it reminds me of the classic line, everyone knows all toasters toast toast.
Oh, they certainly do. They just announced recently. They announced 2 new Zelda titles coming to their IBD line of Blu-ray players. Zelda, the Face of Justice, and Ganon, the Triforce of Evil.
Getting some more Zelda games on those entertainment systems.
Hopefully the return of the phrase, well, excuse me, princess.
On top of that, we're getting remasters of the original 2 CDI games.
Ah.
The glorious CG video.
Oh,
Yes!
man.
Yeah,
Yeah!
my hat. Okay.
This is an actual one too.
No, it's not.
You sure?
Yes.
I thought I saw something about that.
No, I posted it in the hat trick topics.
Okay.
And then you reacted to it, and I was like, oh,
I clearly didn't see what channel it was posted into.
ladies and
Because
gentlemen,
this also seems like a thing.
hang on. That's a topic that we have to really zhuzh up. But
Yeah. Why don't
we had our friend Sakurai lie to you because, ladies and gentlemen, we have another character battling in to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and that is Bob Belcher from Bob's Burgers. He's going to be flipping the competition and also going, Linda. Linda.
Oh, so you
no
mean he's gonna be
confirmation
voiced?
as to whether or not Kuchi Kopi will be returning as a trophy or not, or perhaps Louise. But we do have a confirmation that one of his Smash Ultimates will in fact be Linda when she is mad. Make sure to bring some wine and some crackers to bed.
So of course, you told me this isn't real, and then you wouldn't let me actually say it. So Hideo Kojima is fresh off of doing everything he can and just trying to send people for all the loops that he can, and is going to be working with Wizards of the Coast on a special set for Magic the Gathering. And it's going to be taking, characters and settings from everything. Like, you could make a Kojima-only deck. Like, there will be a starter deck kind of thing with these different themes. Like, there will be a Death Stranding themed deck. There will be a Metal Gear themed deck. Who knows how Wizards is going to be...
espionage action themed deck.
Yes. True. I was going to say, like, who knows how Wizards is actually going to get the IPs, the IP rights for everything, but yeah, it's going to be this, like, very close. Yeah. So that could be cool. So close to hitting the lens.
Everyone's favorite video game developer, Activision Blizzard, just announced the YouTuber Apology Simulator, coming out for all consoles, including Switch, Amazon Echo, Google Stadia, Xbox Series X, PS5. No last gen, because last gen is absolute bullshit. If you don't have a current gen, next gen console, get the fuck out of here.
I just like the idea that they're not going to apologize for what they're doing, but they're going to release an apology simulator.
Exactly.
It's better than an actual apology.
While we're on this subject, by the way, this reminds me that I don't know if you guys have seen the holiday sales reports, the things that are going on. But ladies and gentlemen, check your pulses again because it looks like Google Stadia is on track to become the best-selling holiday item. Move over, Furby. Move over, Tickle Me Elmo. Hit the bricks, Sky Dancers, because the Hess truck's here, and it's coming to Google Stadia.
I mean, to be fair, it is number one, cheaper, number two, more readily available than any current gen system. I could probably go out and get a Stadia tonight. Whereas, again, if I wanted to get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, I got to jump through hoops of people taking my console out of the box and unbagging everything. Um,
I wrote that one.
okay, well, so uh, one of a Black Horse system that people play stuff on. We mentioned Stadia, but like that's too mainstream. Something that people have played stuff on is the Samsung Smart Fridge. People have gotten things like Skyrim to run on it.
Yeah.
And so, although that's always kind of been like an unofficial hack, whatever, we are going to be seeing an official release from Innersloth for Among Us on the Samsung Smart Fridge. And some of the tasks are going to be tied to things that you would actually do like in the fridge. So if you need to like fix plumbing, whatever, take your glass and wait till the glass is full. You fixed it. Move on to the next one. Replace the filter inside the fridge, the water filter.
I really hope they keep those lobbies separate because I think people are going to have an advantage on having the power of that controller. It does ice, it does water, it does hot water.
I just
what are
don't
we to
know
do?
what's going to happen when, like, if you get murdered while you're doing a task of just like the most rotten fruit jumping out of a drawer and strangling you.
Just the entire fridge just shuts off forever.
Might be time for a new fridge, Steph. We don't need a new fridge.
In relevance to many topics here on the Nerd Glasses podcast, everyone's second favorite company, right behind Activision Blizzard, Epic, apologizes.
Steve, you address them properly. They are the little brother.
Our little
to
brother. Hold on. Am I
Insane
wearing the
Games.
tinfoil hat? All right, I can say it. Our little brother.
Little brother to Insane Games, Epic Games, apologizes to Apple and disbands the Coalition for App Fairness. Thank God.
Well, it was a good run.
Who can say whether...
If you couldn't hear it, he just started singing an Enya tune. We really need to go back to a tabletop mic for this kind of thing. Oh boy.
And lastly, some current topics in gaming, namely that controversial film, The Interview, is going to get a DLC plug from who else? The antagonistic company that they are, Square Enix. They are implementing that particular movie arc into the popular Hitman franchise as an exclusive limited time DLC. You must act on attaching it to your game now because they will be selling it between the hours of midnight and 12:01, and that's it. If you don't get it, you don't get to play Hitman in The Interview. And we all know who the target in that one is. But we won't say because we don't want to be on any hit lists.
I'm glad you took that one. I saw that and put that back. You did that quite well, sir.
So make sure to be on your PlayStation 4.
The thing is, they plan to have that going from like midnight to midnight, but we all know it's going to get shut down within a minute anyway through forces beyond their control.
So they knew that if they have exactly 60 seconds before it's gone, and they're going to see as many people get that content as they can.
Which is exactly the amount of enjoyment that you can actually get out of the movie The Interview, 60 seconds.
Maybe not even that.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I'm sorry. Anyway, folks, that has been the Nerd Glasses podcast. Shall we do our outro?
Get the guitar.
Sure. I'll get the guitar, he says somberly. As he does so, Thank you, everybody, for watching. Remember that you can follow our Discord in the About section below. You can participate in discussions. You can see the table topics. You can contribute the next time that we do the hat trick. We'll have plenty of things there. Stay tuned after this tonight, where I will be playing Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition on the Citadel. We should be finishing the game tonight, so make sure that you are around for that. We will go offline about 5 minutes as we move everything over, 10-minute countdown, and I'll see you on the other side. And of course, make sure that you're following here for all sorts of awesome streamers and content that we have going on almost 7 days a week. In the meantime, as we recall from earlier on,
Steve Harwell, this is for you, buddy.
this is our farewell to Smash Mouth as we knew it.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. Was looking kinda dumb with her finger and her thumb and the shape of an L on her forehead. Oh, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed through the rules and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You never know if you don't go. Go!
You never shine if you don't glow.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid, and all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold.